Hey there, I'm Jama, and over the past few years, I've become very interested in onomatology, the study of names. I've never really liked my name until I researched the meaning of it. My name means paradigm shifter, and I'd like to shift your paradigm by shining a light on onomatology and how it can potentially help you find your purpose, help you communicate better with others, or even both. In each episode, I ask someone 8 basic questions regarding their name that focuses on onomatology. So sit back, relax, and try to shift your paradigm with this next episode. All right, so on today's episode, I am really excited. So I am interviewing somebody who I met through an HR association, and the meaning of her name is very cool. So I'm very excited for this episode. So welcome to the podcast, Tammy.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So, and on your birth certificate, it actually is Tami, Tammy, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
Awesome.
everyone asks me, is it short for Tamara or Tamara or is it short for something else? But nope, just Tammy.
Okay. Awesome. I've never met just a Tammy before. Have you met any other Tammys?
Oh, probably. It's funny. I always thought that my name was so unique when I was younger. And then as I got older, I started meeting more and more people named Tammy. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, we're just going to jump right into the first question, which is I think when I first met you a couple months ago, you said you had not known the meaning of your name. Did you have to use Google or do
I
some research?
100% use Google and try to to dig in a little bit before this in
Okay,
preparation for today.
cool. Okay, awesome. What did you find for the meaning of your name?
Yeah, I found that it's a Hebrew origin.
Hmm.
Um, and funny that you asked about the iterations. Like I literally was like Googling whatever, and it's like a variation of Tammy or Tamara or Tammy, but that it means date palm. And I was like, what? So it talked about how it's more about nourishment, and antioxidants and things that are just kind of helpful to purify your soul. I was like, whoa, that's kind of big. So like to hear date palm doesn't mean anything to me, but to understand like the extra around it, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the first time I looked it up, like it's very interesting because you kind of sometimes have to do like some layer digging. Because at first I thought it meant palm tree, and I was wrong. You are correct. It is of Hebrew origins, and it does mean date palm. And actually, the root word Tamr, which in Islam, Muslims believe that dates can purify your soul, and just like what you're saying. And so I thought that that was very neat and wonderful. Like that's like a very core, amazing thing. So I don't know. You can take what you want from it, but I thought that was so cool.
I think it's really amazing because I wouldn't have thought about a date doing much other than sweetening food. I
Yeah.
think about like how we use dates and it's not very often. And if you do, it's kind of mixed into something or, like I feel like I get them in a salad every once in a while, or it's
Yeah.
the sweetener in like RX bars, but I would have never put like the meaning of date to be about purification because it seems
Yeah.
like counterintuitive to me, like the sweetness and like this, they're sticky, and that
Yeah.
doesn't feel cleansing to me, if you will, but not to overanalyze dates. But so I just thought that was really interesting, like how it
Yeah.
was just kind of really almost opposite of what I would have thought.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I never, like growing up as a kid, I never remember having dates, but then like as an adult in salads, I love them. They're like,
Yeah.
they give the best flavor and they are healthy for you. And that's
Yeah.
really
I was at a
cool.
party last weekend and they had prosciutto wrapped dates stuffed with blue cheese.
Oh, that would be
Not to go on a
amazing.
date tangent, but it was
Yeah, no.
like
That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to try it. So I take it you like the meaning of your name?
I think that's really, really special. I think that there's something, it feels like a very powerful name all of a sudden that I wouldn't have thought otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like it a lot. Do you know how your parents chose your name?
I do, and it's kind of a crazy, silly story, to be honest. Like it has absolutely nothing to do with any of the origins that we're talking about here. And ironic because my mom is a really religious person now, but she wasn't when before I was born.
Okay.
But she chose my name because back in the like 60s and 70s, there was a movie series called, it was like Tammy and the
Oh,
Bachelor was one of the most famous ones with Debbie Reynolds. She was the star in it, but there was like
okay.
Tammy Tell Me and Tammy and the Doctor and Tammy and the Millionaire. There was like a whole series of these like kind of cheesy romance movies. And my
Hmm.
mom was pregnant with my sister when she saw one of them and loved the name, and but they'd already chose my sister's name before me, so saved it in her back pocket for me to be born, and here I am. And
Oh,
I think she also, Tammy is how that it was spelled in the movie and how she kind of found the name. And so I think she was trying to be like unique and make it be a little bit different, like a little different twist on it. So spelled
yeah.
Tami.
I like that. That's really cool.
But it's funny that it's like, from a romance movie.
Yeah.
Which has
It
nothing
is.
to do with the origins of the name that we were talking about.
It's interesting. Yeah. Well, and that's like one of the top three most common reasons that I have found in my research of either it runs in the family or the person liked the sound and the look of it, or it was associated with a famous character that somebody really liked. So
It's
that's
interesting.
powerful that, yeah, I mean, if your mom liked that, then like obviously there's power in like just the word itself, the name. So,
Yeah, and it's funny. There was a song that was famous from one of those movies too, and I remember I was in like, I don't know, sixth or seventh grade, and my history teacher started singing it in front of the whole class. I was mortified.
oh, yeah, I would be too. But I'm glad that you brought up the other spelling of Tammy, because that reminded me I do have a prior work colleague that I haven't talked to in a while, but her name is Tammy, and she was very like such a beautiful, strong woman, a great presence when I worked with her. So
Oh, I
I
love
did know
that.
another Tammy.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking about growing up and being like a younger girl and a teenager, did you ever have the thought in your mind, oh, I wish I had a different name?
Yeah, I feel like, I hope that's normal. I hope everybody had that moment because I for sure, when I was younger, especially because I was the only Tammy that I knew for many years. I think I might have been in sixth grade before I met somebody that had the same name. So many years of my life, of my young formative years, thinking my name was so unique and interesting. But as a child, you don't want to stand out and be different. You want to be just like everybody else and fit in. So yeah, I hated my name for a long period of time, and I had a girlfriend named Trisha. So for whatever reason, I loved her name and wanted to be called Trisha. Obviously, I
Hmm.
never did. I
Yeah.
also, my middle initial is J. So I had occasionally in my life people would call me TJ, and I always thought
Okay.
that was kind of a fun twist. That I wish would have at that point wish would have stuck to be called
Yeah.
TJ instead of Tammy. But
Gotcha. Cool. Well, and if you were forced to change your first name now, what do you think you would change it to and why?
it's a hard one because my name is so much my identity now. I kind of obviously it's very connected together, but I thought about it a little bit, and I think, my mom's maiden name was Taylor, or my grandmother's side of the house. And I thought, I actually have a niece that her name is Taylor, but I thought that would be maybe an interesting change. So it's still connected to the family, right? But, if I had
Yeah,
to change it to something else,
that's cool. I like that. And do you like that it starts with a T as well?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Can't
it's cool
confuse
because,
myself in the alphabet.
yeah. Well, and the meaning of Taylor is kind of similar to yours.
Is
It
it?
means beauty. And I
Oh,
mean, health and beauty can kind of hold hands. I don't know, like
yeah.
I thought that was interesting because a lot of the times people choose a name that has a similar meaning to it.
Oh,
So,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. I would almost want to, now that you say that, I'd want to reverse engineer like what other names get to date bombs or nourishment or purification just to see. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. There has to be some kind of site, I think, where you can type in like the meaning and then it will show the names of what that meaning is. I don't know. I'll let
Yeah.
you know when I find it.
Maybe you can make that.
Yeah, right. That'd be cool.
Reverse engineer it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and has your name ever been mispronounced?
Not my first name, but my last name for sure. My last name's Chapek. It's and Chapek, and everyone wants to say Chapek.
Okay.
All the time. I actually dated a guy in college and he kept call me, wouldn't say Chapek. And he tried to like school me that I didn't like, I was not pronouncing it properly. I was like, I think I know how my family name is spelled and pronounced. But so I would say, if I say Chapel, how do you pronounce that?
Chappelle.
Chapel, right?
Oh,
Chapel.
chap. Oh, yeah, chapel. Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I think I'm right. I'm good. But I've
Yeah.
never had Tammy mispronounced. I feel like it's common enough that people can figure it out.
Yeah. That's
But
cool.
I always get the what's Tammy short for? Like inevitably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh,
Yeah, I feel like humans try to always overcomplicate things. Like, oh, it's so small and short. It should be something more, you know?
it's gotta be short for something.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. All right, and second to last question. Do you think now that like you have understood the meaning of your name, even though you haven't known what the meaning it has been for a while, do you think that that has any relevance on the way that you see the world around you or how the way you behave?
It's an interesting question because I feel like, purifying your soul those are big words, right? That's a lot of power or implication with those. But, I think, my career path has changed quite significantly in the last decade. So 7 years ago, I started my own business and I do leadership coaching now. And I think a lot of why I love coaching and why I love kind of training and facilitation is that I help people kind of see more, see that there's other ways to think about things or see things differently, or tap into more greater understanding of who they are and what they want, and then use that to make decisions to move forward. So while not purification in that sense, I do think there's something about like clarity and I help people kind of clear the clutter and find their
Mhm.
paths and whatever. So I feel like there is like an interesting correlation, if you will. Maybe I feel like purification feels way bigger than than that, but there's something about like filling the soul or feeding, nourishing the soul that I feel like very much aligns to what I do now.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much before I was in marketing and I was feeding people's pocketbooks.
Mhm.
I guess at
Yeah.
the end of the day, maybe that's nourishment too in a different way, but
Yeah, I agree with you. When I understood the actual meaning of your name and then when I thought about what you do now, I was like, that's really neat. I don't know, I just kind of like felt like it meshed well and was really cool. And I love what you do. I think what you do is very important and I respect it. And I feel like I don't know you all that well, but I feel like it brings you joy.
Mhm.
And do you feel like what you're doing now is what you have always wanted to do or what you should be doing?
I think it's what I should be doing now. I think, as a younger person, I'm not one of those people that looks back with regrets or feels like that was like a wrong path to go down. I think what I did led me to this path. I think if I had started doing this type of work at a young age, I probably wouldn't have been very good at it. I think I had to have a lot of life lessons and learn to listen more, that I don't think I had the maturity to do at a young age. But I feel like I'm very much aligned to where I should be and how to give back to people. And selfishly, I'm way more satisfied with the work that I do now than back in my marketing days. Like that was good work. I was good at it, right? And I enjoyed it, but I didn't feel the same like inside, I
Mhm.
like the paycheck. But that didn't make me happy, right? And I think this type of work does. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's nice. That's really cool. All right. So my last question, it's a little bit more philosophical in nature. And so when I started my podcast, I researched what is the best-selling book of all time, and it happened to be the Bible. And in the Bible, there are quite a few people where it actually talks about their name being changed. And so, for example, in Genesis, it talks about God changing Sarai's name to Sarah and Abram's name to Abraham. And then in the New Testament, it talks about Saul going changing his name to Paul. And I'm just curious what your opinion is about why that would even be mentioned.
Mhm. Yeah, I think and I wish we did pay more attention to this now, but I think that the meaning of names, the symbolism of things was much more significant then. And having a name change would really kind of align to a shift or change in that person too, right? And I think, and like I think Saul to Paul in particular was a chance for him to have a fresh start. It was totally flipped his life upside down, right? And changed his whole belief system, his behavior, where he lived, what he did, like everything was different. And with the same name, that would be incredibly difficult to do, I think, both psychologically for yourself, but as well, like with reputation and others' perspective. And I think about my past life in marketing, with branding, right? If we were trying to get people to think differently about a product or to get people to think differently about a company, sometimes that resulted in a name change or at least a visual change. So I think there's something really powerful in that, but I don't feel like our society pays as much attention to the meaning of names. We think about what we like sound wise. Well, that sounds cool, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
this conversation is like things I'm realizing like obviously way after the fact, but I don't know. Maybe people do more than I think, but I just feel like we don't pay enough attention to that, the connection between name and meaning.
I fully agree with you. And I love that response. And it's very interesting because in my episode with a man named Hakeem, he actually lives in the Netherlands. And he said that most people in the country where he resides, they know the meaning of their name. And they're more
Mm-hmm.
into like astrology, I guess, is what he
Mm-hmm.
said. But it's interesting that Americans, I mean, there's a huge percentage of people that I've talked to where I'm like, oh, like that's a cool name. Do you know what it means? And they're like, no. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with you. I feel like it's more, I don't want to say the word superficial or like in terms of a mindset but I feel like the meaning behind a name, it's just overlooked so
Mm-hmm.
much. And
Well, I think we follow trends a lot more in the
yeah.
US at least. You get see those articles all the time about the top baby names of 2024, right? Like people tend to gravitate towards what's popular. And maybe subconsciously, maybe consciously, but I think there's a lot of really or doing something totally different. Like there's been a surge of let's say the last 10 years of really random, very unique, interesting baby names that children are given that mean something to the parent, right? But is different
Yeah.
than others. So I feel like we've gone to the extremes of right, either it's like everybody has the same name or it's extremely different and no one knows how to pronounce it or what it means.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Do you find that when you ask people kind of the meaning of their names and kind of the work that they do, that there's a strong correlation in those areas?
Yes, I do actually, which is very interesting. Or, like, yes to that, but also when I start to hear answers from them on like the other questions that I'm asking, like there are some things that come out in terms of, for example, I interviewed somebody who his name meant brave or strong, and he he thought of himself as kind of timid and shy and didn't want to do the podcast, but he forced himself to do it because he wanted to become stronger and like more brave. And I thought that that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think I don't know, I think I'm gonna start asking people now if they know
Yeah.
and have this question because
Right.
it's fascinating because this takes me a little bit down the path of like nature versus nurture, as kids are growing up in certain environments, right? Like is it learned behavior or is it genetic to them, right? And so I wonder even the connection to name, right? Is your the connection to what you do a learned behavior or is it, air quote genetic, like ingrained in you because that's your name?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's so complex, but I totally see what you're saying. And the psychology factor behind it in terms of, so say like, so every name has a meaning. And so nobody would name their child the word stupid, but say like your name was the word stupid. If you were to say, hi, I'm stupid every single day and write down, and like, type it out and in an email, sign it. Like you're seeing that word every single day of your life. And
Mhm.
if you say something, it's almost like in your thoughts too. If you have negative thoughts over and over and over again, it is going to affect you. And I think even your name, even if you don't know the meaning, I don't want to say it's like you're like speaking power or a curse or a blessing over your life, but you're speaking that word and you're seeing that word every single day of your life. And I think there is definitely some inherent, some core influence too that will affect you.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah.
you do have your nature versus nurture.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like even without knowing the meaning, there's got to be some inherent association to the meaning.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Interesting.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Any other questions?
No, that's it. This is great. This is fascinating stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.